The news we watch and overexposure to social media can change the way we remember historical events, because the information we're given can be manipulated by those in power. Therefore, we wanted to see if a person's affectivity is something we can manipulate through cognitive science. Our hypothesis is the effects of positive and negative priming conditions on participants' memory on topics related to COVID-19. Studies done by Baumgartner and Casper both demonstrated that mood is malleable. Baumgartner specifically showed that mood congruency was affected by the positive or negative news that participants saw. This supports our claim that when primed with positive or negative thoughts, people can be affected by what they remember. We wanted to show that positive priming leads to more correct recall of hopeful words, and that negative priming leads to more correct recall of anxious words. This would also align with Casper's study that found results that support this belief. In Casper's study, they found that negative information and positive information affects the attention the brain gives to details in memory. They found that positive mood led to higher attention given, and negative mood led to more exploration of information.
For our between subjects experiment, we sent out a survey through the software Qualtrics asking participants to write about their pandemic experience. They were exposed to either a positive or a negative condition. This was our predictor. Then they read a prompt related to topics tied to the pandemic. Afterward, they had to complete 2 recall list tasks with 20 words per list. We tested to see how many hopeful words they would correctly remember and how many anxious words they would correctly remember. All participants were exposed to both recall lists. To test our hypothesis, we used multiple regression models for each of our 4 dependents, which were correct hopeful words, correct anxious words, falsely recalled hopeful words, and falsely recalled anxious words. Our results showed that priming conditions did not lead to more false recall of words. We also showed that priming conditions do lead to an increase of correct word recall. However, we did not succeed in finding supporting evidence for our hypothesis because the positive priming did not lead to more hopeful words than the negative priming condition.
What we did find, unintentionally, is that negative priming led to more word recall for both hopeful and anxious words. Similar to studies done by Baumgartner, we showed that negative priming led to an increased frequency in correct recall of words.
Even though we did not find statistically significant results for our specific hypothesis, our findings are important because we must consider that remembering negative events does not necessarily lead to a pessimistic perspective. However, we should consider the way that a person's unique personality impacts their affectivity and how they would approach the thought of stressful events. One of our limitations is the fact that we coded the priming responses based on the condition the participants were exposed to, but we did not consider the context of their written responses. For example, some in the positive priming condition did not find optimism easily gained and wrote about their bad experiences anyways. Many in the negative priming condition found themselves considering the ways they overcame their tribulations and found hope despite everything. As a manipulation check, it would be important to add a mood scale and a mood survey in future experiments.
Even though we were not able to find supporting evidence for our claim, our results suggest we must consider the way extraordinary traumatic events can lead to stronger memory recall. We must consider the implications of the way the news, social media, and our leaders in office present information to the public, for when it affects our mood, it affects our beliefs, our politics, and our actions.